Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In this video, I am taking this digital art that I made and turning it into wallpaper for the iPhone SE second generation. Let's get started. So I looked up the pixels and the DPI. You'll actually want to do the opposite for width and height. If you do it this way, it'll end up horizontal and you'll have to rotate it so that it's vertical. So the first one we're doing is the happy little pup on some grass. And this one was pretty tricky. You'll see in the next one we do, that one was really straightforward, really easy to do. I do a lot of trial and error, and I pretty much end up having to paint the background. I do a lot of blending and gently erasing to get this effect. So what I was doing was importing the image onto a new layer and then transforming it to be really large. And you can see the detail in the grass is quite large, which makes it hard to blend with the happy little pup because those are going to be a lot smaller. And the color scheme also is not matching up with the happy little pup's image. So I'm playing with the eraser texture and the size of the eraser, trying to get it as close as I can. I decide that this route is not going to work, so I go and try a different strategy. So clearly I'm pretty new to digital art. I mean, I've done some, but I am not super intuitive, nor do I know the proper way to do everything. Here I try selecting the section of the happy little pup and I'm trying to stretch it, hoping that since it's coming from that area, the colors will be on par and it will blend well. But I end up getting this really harsh line that I attempt to smudge and blur, and it doesn't work out. Okay, so we're jumping to the fourth attempt. The third attempt just wasn't even worth really talking about. Here, I accept the fact that I'm going to have to do a lot more work, so I'm going to start building the background to match as well as I can the happy little pup's little island of grass. And that's what this is. I just keep playing with it, blending, getting different colors, selecting the colors from the happy little pup. I also realized that the texture I was using was not the right one that I had used in this work, so I changed that. This one has more of like a stippling, a pen point repeating effect. The next one we do has the longer lines that look more grass-like. And here I'm just trying to add different shades of green so that it will help your eye drift over the whole picture and not focus on one area, except perhaps the happy little pup, which is supposed to be the focus of this. And then I'm going to end up keep adding the texture. I will erase with the texture that matches the style that I'm using for the background, and I will also use the soft eraser to try and get rid of that harsh line around the border there. This is probably something I'm going to take into consideration moving forward. I just really wanted some unique borders for these pictures, but if I do plan to keep making them into wallpapers, it's something worth thinking about making, a traditional rectangle shape, and then I can always trace out a background and erase what is outside of that, but then I could save both the rectangle as well as my loopy boopy bordered version, and that would make all of this a lot easier. I also thought it would be fun to make these downloadable as screensaver, or not screensaver, but like computer wallpapers. So selecting the specific color I was after was tricky because it has the background color as well as all the color from the little stippling, the little pen point marks. And I could certainly have zoomed way in to select the color I wanted more specifically, but I was in a hurry. This was a fun little project I just wanted to try and play with and not get burnt out on, so I just kept, you know, doing what you see. So here I added another layer under the happy little pup, but above the bigger background that you see, trying to more accurately blend the colors to match with what's going on with the happy little pup's island. And now I'm going to start working on erasing those sharper lines, really trying to make it seem as seamless as possible, blending into the background. And I think this is pretty satisfying to look at. Okay, and here I am happy with the finished product. That's what it looks like on Fire Alpaca. Just gonna save it, airdrop it over to my phone, and we'll take a look at it there. So this version of the iPhone offers different filters that you can apply. You can also pinch to crop like it says, so you can make the happy little pup as big or as little as you like. And that's the first image. In story 2, the happy little pup is playing with a monarch butterfly. This one was a lot easier to do. I just transform the happy little pup where I want them, keeping the grass in. It's also a much more forgiving border that I did. It's essentially a circle rectangle shape. And then once I have it how I want it, I'm going to hit OK. Erase the butterfly portion. And then I'm going to import this same image on a new layer. And with that one, I'm going to focus on the butterfly. Okay, so I have imported an image as a new layer. I am going to end up cutting off the butterfly's wing on the border. I like how the butterfly's wing pops out over the sky. I do think it's a neat effect. However, it would have been nice to keep the entire butterfly wing in the image. But like I said, this was a fun exercise that I wanted to try and do. And now I'm just going to erase the grass so that the happy little pup is visible. And this is pretty much done. I really do like this one. There's a little more dynamic action going on. I really like the blue sky and the clouds. Here we are looking at how it will appear as a wallpaper on the iPhone. I actually kind of liked the pink overlay. I liked how the time colors reflected. Okay, this is the last one. This one has the craziest shape of all of them. I'm gonna end up working with this how I did the first one on my first attempt. I'm essentially finding an area of the background that doesn't have the happy little pup or the snowflake in, and I'm going to use that for the generalized background. It's certainly not going to match perfectly because, again, the happy little pup and the snowflake, their texture is a lot smaller than how it is when it's been made this large, but I still want the like nice shading and coloring, and I did not want to have to go through all the work of building a background. I was getting a little bit tired, ready to move on from this exercise. I'm ready to get done with the video and figure out how I can make this accessible to whoever wants it to download for their phone. And so I'm gonna do the same thing also like I did with the second one we looked at with the butterfly. I'm gonna situate the happy little pup, erase the snowflake, and then I will import the image again, transform it down to the size I want, and erase the happy little pup. Now I'm just working on cleaning up and blending the sharper border into the background, trying to make it look as seamless as possible. I do enjoy this artwork, the setting. I do get Frozen vibes from it, like Elsa and Anna and Olaf. So it is a fun seasonal winterscape. So I'm deciding to get as close as I can, just get rid of the background that came along with this happy little pup image. I could have imported the happy little pup, but I wanted to leave the shadows and highlights that are already on this version of the happy little pup. I didn't want to have to redo those. So I opted to erase. And then the shadow was just too harsh, so I try and clean that up. I will end up matching the shadow color to the gray because I didn't get super close to the happy little pup's fur, and I thought it would have been cool to do like a nice purpley pink color, but obviously you can see that gray, so I choose to stick with that gray color. I'm going between the airbrush and the pen to make sure there's no harsh line. I'm attempting to blend in those blues and purples and pinks that I was trying to do that I thought would look nice. Alright, it's mostly the gray color. I got a little bit of blue to stick, trying to make it a little more colorful. And now we're gonna go work on the snowflake. This one I do not take the time to get really close in to all of the crevices to erase. I attempt dropping the opacity, thinking maybe that would help the background texture come through. I think I left it a little bit down the opacity, but overall I liked it being as opaque as possible. In the butterfly and happy little pup scene, I have a shadow for the butterfly as well as the happy little pup, and I want to add one for the snowflake. I do like how it adds a little more depth and interest, so I'm happy that I futzed with this and gave it a nice little shadow. This is what I finished up with, and this is it on the iPhone. I actually kind of like the black and white, and the pink was kind of fun. I hope this inspires you to make your own wallpapers. If you're interested, I uploaded these to the Happy Little Pup WordPress. It has its own page, so you can go there, download whichever of the images is your favorite or all of them, and enjoy the happy little pup on your phone. That's all for now. I hope you're able to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.